Police officers. What criminal actually impressed you with their criminal skills? I was working night patrol in Seattle when we got a call about a bank robbery. What made this different was the suspect had walked right through the front door during business hours. No mask, no weapon, wearing an expensive suit and carrying a briefcase. He had sat down with the branch manager, introduced himself as Anthony Walsh from corporate headquarters, and spent 3 hours reviewing their security protocols. The manager later told us he was incredibly knowledgeable about banking procedures, asking detailed questions about their systems while taking careful notes. At the end of the meeting, he pointed out several critical vulnerabilities that needed immediate attention. He convinced the manager to give him full access to their secure vault to document the issues. Once inside, he somehow managed to bypass multiple security measures and made off with $4.2 million in bearer bonds. They didn't even realize anything was missing until 2 days later. What really got me was the level of preparation. We found out he had spent 6 months working as a janitor at a different branch just to learn their procedures. He had perfectly forged credentials, business cards, and documentation. He even had a fake LinkedIn profile with over 500 connections in the banking industry. The case sat cold for months until we caught a break. A junior teller remembered him mentioning his daughter's dance recital while making small talk. We checked every dance studio within 50 miles and finally found security footage of him at a performance 3 weeks before the robbery. That's when things got interesting. The man wasn't a career criminal. He was Richard Turner, a former bank executive who had been fired after reporting illegal practices at his company. They had blackballed him from the industry and he lost everything. His wife died from cancer because they couldn't afford treatment after his termination. But here's the crazy part. We discovered that every penny of that $4.2 million had been anonymously donated to children's cancer research centers across the country. He didn't keep a single dollar for himself. When we finally tracked him down, he was living in a small apartment, working as a high school math teacher. The evidence against him was circumstantial at best, but what he did next shocked everyone. He walked into our precinct on a Tuesday morning and confessed to everything. He handed over detailed records of all his planning, the exact methods he used, and even a list of security flaws that still needed to be fixed at major banks. The DA wanted to throw the book at him, but the judge was impressed by his motives and methods. Instead of prison time, he was ordered to work with the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit to improve bank security. He's now one of their top consultants, making more money legally than he ever did from the robbery. Last month, I ran into him at a coffee shop. He recognized me and insisted on buying my drink. As we talked, he told me the real reason he confessed. His daughter had asked him what he did for a living, and he couldn't bear to lie to her. Everything I did, he said, was to make sure other families didn't lose their mothers like we lost mine. But I realized I couldn't teach my daughter to do the right thing if I wasn't willing to face the consequences of my actions. Before leaving, he handed me an envelope. Inside was a list of 3 banks and their security weaknesses. Just in case anyone else is thinking what I thought, he said with a knowing smile. Better to fix it now than after.